America talking about this dream team. Let's meet their opponents tonight. Gauss is a three-point shooter. James Carter used to play in the USBL and CBA. These are experienced, good guards for the Puerto Rican team. We'll see how they handle the pressure from the United States. At forward for Puerto Rico, Jose Ortiz. He was Pac-10 MVP at Oregon, drafted by the Utah Jazz. Jerome Mency played at University of Alabama, Birmingham, and was the last player cut on a Hubie Brown team with the New York Knicks. And the center, Ramon Rivas, who was a draft choice of the Celtics. He is a wide-body truckload and a rough player in the middle, and he may provide some resistance for the United States when the Puerto Rican team plays that zone defense. Ramon Dalmau is the head coach of Puerto Rico. They're a good basketball team. They lost only one game in this tournament. Starting for Dream Team, Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson at the guards. This is the fifth different starting lineup in 5 games for the U.S. At the forwards tonight, it'll be Pippen and Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley is the leading scorer for the United States, averaging 18.3 points per game. And starting at center, Patrick Ewing, 11.7 points and 4.7 rebounds. And it almost doesn't matter, since there have been 5 different starting lineups, who Chuck Daly, and you see him standing by assistant coach Mike Krzyzewski, who they use, because often the game really gets started about 5 or 6 minutes in when the first substitutions are made.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting tonight for Puerto Rico, because in watching them play last night, the guys they come off the bench with are very experienced players, but they do not have good speed. A couple good shooters, one is a very good leader, but they do not have good speed and quickness. So when that team substitutes and comes in, we'll have to see if they can handle the speed and quickness coming off the United States bench.
Big win for Puerto Rico last night in Argentina's game. As you look at Cotton Fitzsimmons, now in management with the Phoenix Suns. The Puerto Rican team won 92-85, but it was 88-85 with only a minute left before a very big block by Edwin Peyote. And there is Ortiz, Jose Rafael Ortiz. He went to Oregon State. Ramon Rivas played shortly with the Boston Celtics. Doug Collins talked to Ortiz just prior to the game and said, "You're on TNT tonight." He says,
yeah.
"I'm aware of that."
Yeah, Ramon Rivas and Jerome Mency both were talking. They're excited about this opportunity to play. Jerome Mency was very realistic. Somebody came up to him before the game and said, "How do you think you're going to do it?" And he said, I think the United States will kill us tonight.
I might point out that even though this is a semifinal game, the berths for the Olympics in Barcelona have already been won by Brazil, Venezuela, U.S. and Puerto Rico. These games are only to determine the champions and second and third place in this basketball tournament of the Americas. There is no seeding per se with the 12-team pools that play in Barcelona. FIBA does put together 2 pools and try to balance the competition, but whether or not you finish first, second, or third here has very little, if any, effect on how you get seeded or placed in the pools when you get to Barcelona.
I think as we watch this game unfold tonight, too, this will be the most rugged team the United States has played along the front line. We'll have to see how the banging goes inside, but with Mency, Ortiz, and Rivas, a very big, strong front line.
This is Rivas, number 11. James Carter with the drive and the Michael Jordan-like spin move that doesn't follow. Rebound out quickly to Pippen. Barkley. Run down by Carter.
I'm sure a lot of people are at home are wondering, why don't teams hold the ball on the United States? Use more of the shot clock, try to slow the tempo of this game down, because the defense is so good, Bob. They get out and they pressure the ball. They force you to break down your offense and take quick shots.
Jerome Mency misses a 3-point attempt, and here is Pippen and Barkley. An example of the speed on the transition for this dream team.
See, if the rebound goes long, there's no way the Puerto Rican front line can get back defensively. You're going to see a lot of fast break opportunities, 3-on-2, 2-on-1, because the big front line just cannot run with the United States team. They can bang in a slow half-court game like this using the clock, but if it's speed and quickness, they have no chance.
Into Rivas. Bumps into Patrick Ewing right in the check, and Ewing grabs a hold of his sternum. Looks like he's all right. Rivas popped him pretty good there. Ewing misses the short jumper, controlled by Rivas to James Carter. Remember, international rules, 30-second shot clock. The court's only approximately 90 feet long. That's about 4 feet shorter and about 3 feet narrower than an NBA court. Foul against Patrick Ewing.
Looks early in the ball game that Puerto Rico is going to take the time. They're not going to shoot a lot of quick outside shots. They're going to at least make an attempt to get the ball inside, maybe get some fouls, get some opportunities to shoot the ball inside. Long jump shots mean long rebounds. So here's a long shot. If it doesn't go, you're going to long rebound, and you got an opportunity for the fast break. That time, Mincy picks off the board.
Here is Ortiz. He hit some three-pointers last night against Argentina, and Puerto Rico has a 3-2 lead.
You must get up on him and make him put the ball on the floor. If you let him sit there and look with that little set shot, he has pretty good range, as you said. We saw that last night.
Michael Jordan is fouled by Gauss. He's going to have his hands full, but so do all the NBA guards. Gauss is 6'5". He's a three-point shooter, number 6, and an experienced veteran.
The team has started a little bit slowly tonight. Remember, they had the day off yesterday. I think their energy level is up, but they're working themselves into this game.
Magic with the pass inside to Michael Jordan. Missed the reverse. The ball belongs to Team USA. Magic Johnson posted, has it stripped away by Carter, but Ewing hits the 16-footer.
Patrick Ewing is starting to get his timing back. After hurting his thumb, he was a little bit off with his shooting, was not confident handling the basketball. The last 2 games, he's played very, very well, looking much better in the post.
Rivas. Good move inside, past Patrick Ewing, and before either Johnson or Barkley could get there. Rivas played some for the Celtics in 1989. Pippen on the drive to Ewing.
See, Scottie Pippen, you just can't match him. Here he is as a small forward, or as a big guard. You've got either Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen being played by Mincy. Can't do it. The speed and quickness there, that will always be a mismatch for them. Mincy is not healthy enough. He cannot post up right now because of a bad Achilles.
Barkley with the easy steal, smiled all the way down court for the Thunder Jam. 8-5 USA.
Remember, keep our eyes on turnovers and points off turnovers. United States has been tremendous in that phase here at the Tournament of the Americas.
Remember also that Puerto Rico has played 5 games in 5 days, as they had to play in the quarterfinals last night.
Yeah, that's right. They did not have the day off.
Gauss for 3. Jordan got a hand on it. Ewing to Johnson. Magic all the way, goes to the left hand.
You just marvel at Magic Johnson. The timing, again, played basketball only 1 time this year at the NBA All-Star Game, was the MVP there, and comes in. And I know he's been playing a lot of pickup basketball, Bob, but it's just not the same. The fact that he has this kind of timing is incredible.
Rivas against Ewing again.
That's 2 fouls on Patrick.
That'll be 2.
Let's put you in a tough spot. Now you've got to come in with David Robinson. So
don't know what'll happen with David Robinson, only the former defensive player of the year in the NBA. Magic Johnson has only 1 basket in this game, but it is vintage Magic.
Well, you know, Magic Johnson loves to pass so much. Everybody knows that. He likes to get everybody involved. But as he makes a break, if you see it here, if we stop it right there, you see this is Jose Ortiz. He's afraid to leave Charles Barkley, so he sort of fakes it Magic. Magic keeps the dribble, and he tries to go back, and Magic takes the ball right to the basket. So knowing when to make the pass and when to make the drive. And Magic Johnson at 6'9", once he gets in there, you're not going to be able to stop him. He's going to be able to finish over this Puerto Rican team because they're really not shot blockers.
USA was 1 of 4 when they started this game. Hit their last 4 shots as Robinson is in for Patrick Ewing, who goes out with 2 early fouls. Rivas spinning inside. Robinson got a piece of it. Run down by Pippen, out to Jordan.
Well, they're really going inside to Ramon Rivas, really giving him a lot of opportunities to work. That's the same move we just saw the last time down the floor by Magic.
Lost the handle on it this time. Here is James Carter, formerly of the CBA and the USBA. USBL, he was looking for Ortiz, who was touched by the USA. 30-second shot clock.
Bob, I think when Puerto Rico has an opportunity and they can get an easy basket, they want to take it, but they do not want to get caught up into an up-and-down style game. The United States averaging about 120 points a game in this tournament, so they do not want to play that style of game. But if they get some easy baskets, they've got to try to take them.
Carter showing some quickness there. Rivas, number 11, to Ortiz. Number 9 is Carter. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Mincy hits the three. Jerome Mincy.
He can do that. He can spot up and shoot the shot. Again, you must make Jerome Mincy put the ball on the floor. He has a sore Achilles tendon. He's lost a lot of his speed and quickness, but he's still a very good stand-up shooter.
Puerto Rico's already taken 5 3-pointers in this game. Hit 2 of them. Robinson. Hard into Rivas. No whistle and traveling call.
Here's the jump shot by Jerome Mincy. Magic Johnson gave help, and really Scottie Pippen didn't need it. He had his man covered. I think the one thing the United States, if they do have any lapses, it's sometimes being sucked into the lane and allow the guy to take the 3-point shot. So you must stay with the 3-point shooters at 20 feet 6. That's a very short shot for these great players. Michael Jordan playing Gauss, who is their 3-point specialist on this team. Carter, not so strong shooting from the outside, but is a good penetrator on Magic Johnson. 8 team fouls before you shoot the 1-and-1 in each half here. So we'll keep track of the team foul situation as we go along. You know, the one thing you have to really be worried about is international officiating. You never know from game to game. These NBA players are used to having a little bit more consistent game calls. Ortiz has his shot blocked. Robinson caused Rivas to miss. Pippen to Barkley. Controlled by Gauss. But Bob, to finish that thought, the international officiating sometimes you have to be very careful not to let them disrupt your game, because some of the calls are bizarre. I was there. I've been in a situation where 2 officials do not speak the same language, and they argue over who made the call, and they start fighting over the basketball. It can be some bizarre situations. David Robinson called for a personal here. 4th team foul on the United States. The officials tonight in this game are Alberto Garcia, as you look at the U.S. bench, from Argentina, and Alan Richardson of England. 10-8, Team USA. It's an amazing thing right now about the United States. On the floor, you have Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson, all guys that can get the outlet pass and create on the fast break. Barkley with the offensive forward up strong. He draws the foul.
Puerto Rico foul. Number 4.
It's on number 4, Jose Ortiz, his first personal. He's averaging 18.5 points and 10 rebounds a game. 3 of the top 5 rebounders in this tournament play for Puerto Rico. If you can limit second shots by the United States, although they're shooting such a great percentage, if you can limit their second shots and take away a little bit of the tremendous fast break they have, now you make them play a little bit in a half court, and you have a chance to slow the game down a little bit. But when you get second and third shots, as the United States has been able to do throughout the tournament, and then you do a great job on the defensive boards and you run out and get easy scores, you know, you have a 30, 40-point ball game before you know it, and that's what's happened in this tournament in the Americas. Teams are devastated normally by halftime. See, we switched. Michael Jordan has now switched over to play against Carter, using his speed and quickness, allowing Magic Johnson to play Jerome Mincy, who does not have the lateral movement. Rivas tried to get it into Ortiz, broken up in the middle, back on the fast break. Magic with a jam! An unusual jam off the break for Magic Johnson, known for everything but his jumping ability. Well, you know, I saw Michael Jordan during the free throw. When Barkley was shooting free throws, he said, let me take Carter, you take Mincy. Let me use my quickness. Speaking of quickness, Barkley hit his head on the floor when he went down. Let's hope he's all right.
Timeout, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico gets a timeout. Barkley also playing with a sore ankle here. And Lacerte, the Boston Celtics, the trainer for Team USA, out looking at Charles Barkley. He popped his head hard right on the floor and right near a group of photographers. Yeah, I don't know whether he hit a camera. It looked like, Bob, as he might have came down, he might have caught the back of a camera. You see all the cameras laying there in the guy's lap, the photographers. I hope that he did not split his head. You see Ed Lacerte out there now looking, and he's got the towel. That's normally a sign of possibly a cut. We'll have to wait and see. And we know the international rule is if there's any cut or whatever, you must go out of the game and get the bleeding stop. It happened the other night to Bill Winnington in the Canadian game. Barkley injuring his head on that layup attempt. It's 14-8, and it looks as though he will not be staying in the game. Karl Malone replacing him. He will shoot the free throws for Barkley. Now remember the NBA rules. We watch this. Charles Barkley going in,
Jose Ortiz tries to block the shot. He catches Charles, who's going to go in the locker room now with Ed Laserte, and as he falls there, it looked like he might hit his head on the camera. Now, let me go through the NBA rule, which is different than the FIBA rule, obviously. Karl Malone comes in and shoots the free throws. Charles Barkley is allowed to come back. In the NBA, had Charles Barkley not been able to shoot his free throws, then the opposing coach comes down and says, I want so-and-so to shoot the free throws, and the injured player cannot come back into the game. So that is the difference in the rule.
Karl Malone has had, for him, a less than spectacular tournament. He said publicly yesterday that the injury to John Stockton definitely bothered him because he was so used to playing with his Utah point guard, and also said he has been very aware of avoiding injury in this game. And Doug, as you well know, that kind of attitude sometimes can be a problem as well as a help to yourself.
Yeah, I think you have to be very careful of trying to be on cruise control sometimes. That's when you have a chance of getting hurt.
Magic with the steal to Michael.
Well, the defensive switch has paid off. Magic has done a good job on Jerome Mincy, and Michael Jordan, the pressure he's putting on Carter up the floor has totally disrupted this Puerto Rican attack.
Display of anger from Michael Jordan, about the first time we've seen that this year. The United States has scored 8 straight points.
Well, you see Magic is getting up and he's taking away Jerome Mincy's drive. He knows that he can't take it past him. And here's Michael, a little fumbling on the pass, but is able to gather it with his great ability and still finish the shot. I think Michael wanted to dunk that one, but on the fumble had to just worry about making the easy score.
Javier Colon, number 10, and number 7, Edwin Peyote in the ball game for Puerto Rico.
Now, number 12, Morales, is an excellent shooter. As you see, Rivas again with a great move. Here he is. He's an excellent shooter. You've got to take away the standstill shot, but he's very slow. And Pippen will have a field day on the fast break against him, so keep your eyes open on that matchup.
U.S. up by 10, 12:07 to go first half. Magic Johnson backing in and dishing it to Karl Malone.
Well, you've got a terrible matchup right now. Colon there as a point guard is looks to be about 5'11", and trying to guard Magic Johnson at 6'9".
Here is Peyote. He has great speed against Michael Jordan. Didn't get the layup to fall. Malone to Michael.
3 quick trips for Puerto Rico. They got nothing out of it. Oh, what a great pass by Scottie Pippen. Tremendous. All in one motion, Bob. He caught it and flipped it over his back and over his shoulders to David Robinson. What a wonderful pass.
U.S. on a 12-0 run.
That guy
Morales
could
hits
shoot.
the 3.
The scouting report on him, that guy could shoot the ball. You've got to get up on him, and I'm sure that P.J. Carlissimo and Mike Krzyzewski, who scouted this team, have told this team, you've got to take away this guy's shooting. He's a tremendous outside player.
U.S. 22-11, 11:04 to go first half. Pippen, 4-3.
2-3 zone that time by Puerto Rico. The first possession we've seen of zone.
Belongs to Puerto Rico.
What's the great pass, Bob, here by Scottie Pippen? On the rebound, over the shoulder, no look to David Robinson. That's the kind of unselfish play we've seen all week from this team.
Rivas being defended by David Robinson, the double team. Here is Colon. Number 4 is Ortiz.
Ortiz and Karl Malone have seen each other in Utah. They were together on the Utah Jazz for a while.
3-on-1. Pippen with the two-handed jam from Magic Johnson.
Is that a nightmare if you're Puerto Rico? Magic Johnson in the middle, coming down on the break with Scottie Pippen on one wing and Michael Jordan on the other. Whoever gets it's going to dunk it.
3 assists for Magic. Puerto Rico only 4 for 17. Drexler and Mullen will be into the game for the United States in just a moment. Rivas just having a nightmare inside.
They have really gone strong to Rivas here in this first half. He is getting a lot of opportunities. The problem is he's trying to score against either Patrick Ewing or David Robinson. Not an easy task, but he is working very hard and has made some nice moves inside.
And Ewing has 2 fouls, and Robinson has 1 caused by his aggressiveness. The officials would not let Mullen and Drexler into the game on this play.
Trying to run a screen for Morales to free him up for a shot.
Colon is left open. That was a 2. Pippen on the run has Jordan.
Well, Michael just strong-armed that one. Colon back defensively, and Michael just backed him right down and made the shot.
Magic Johnson to Pippen, and the foul.
Magic Johnson, what a great pass. Loves to pass the basketball.
Magic takes a rest. He has 4 assists, 4 points.
Look at this pass. Left-handed to Scottie Pippen, shovel pass. Scottie with the beautiful layup and the opportunity for the three-point play. This is what we've seen again all week. I know it sounds redundant, but the tremendous passing. And when you've got a guy like Magic Johnson who thinks pass first, it becomes very, very contagious with the rest of his team. And they've all made the pass. But, Bob, they've made the simple play, not the spectacular pass that you see in the All-Star game many times where you get 30 turnovers. They've kept their turnovers down to about 14 per game.
Mullen into the game now, along with Jordan, Malone, Robinson, and Clyde Drexler. A 25-6 USA run since Puerto Rico last led 5-4. A quick reminder of the different rules in international play. The NBA rules there in the center under that column. On the right, you notice that FIBA, it's 2 20-minute halves. The zone defense, of course, is legal. 30-second shot clock. 3-point line, which is certainly significant. These are routine jumpers for Jordan and Mullen and Drexler and the like. The foul limit, 5. And there are some other rule differences, too, that we'll talk to you about as we go along during the ball game.
You know, one we saw last night that I was not aware of was, you know, you can get the basket in international play, and if you get a charging foul and get the score, the basket counts and the other team just gets possession of the basketball. So I did not realize that rule was in effect. I thought it was the NBA rule where any offensive foul took away the basket.
29-13 USA, 9:17 to go first half.
Well, they've gone 2-3 little matchup zone here. Keep your eye on Chris Mullen. He's the shooter with this group.
From Jordan. Bingo.
Play zone. You better not leave Chris Mullen. You got Michael Jordan and Drexler to create. Get in the lane now. Force the zone to compact and then dish out to the great shooter.
Ortiz trying to get something done in the paint.
Oh, great rebound. Great rebound.
That is Edwin Peyote. He has a chiseled body.
Yes.
6'2", 180 pounds, and is physically, in appearance, is a shorter version of Michael Jordan. Great leaper. Drexler for 3.
I told Clyde he's got to play tonight. This crowd was in a funk the other night when they announced he would not play. You lose Danny Ainge, and then you get Clyde Drexler, and they say he's not going to play. This crowd was pouting the other night.
Portland signed Rod Strickland today. That was controversial. We'll talk about a lot of NBA news at halftime, by the way. There's been several player transactions that we'll update you on. And Christian Laettner will be coming into the ball game.
Charles Barkley just came back out onto the floor. It looks like he has a Band-Aid on the back of his head. He might have gotten cut. That's why he might have had to leave the game. You cannot see it, obviously, from there. But there's a Band-Aid on the back of his head, so he might have a slight cut and might have been bleeding.
35-15 USA.
Now, Christian Laettner's an excellent shooter and also a great passer from the high post, so they'll try to go to him and let him create some passing lanes.
Malone just created his own lane with the drive, but missed the lay-in. Peyote out quickly. Punched away by the lightning hands of Chris Mullen. 4 on 2.
Watch Mullen.
Peyote ripping it away from Clyde Drexler. Timeout on the floor. We'll be back to Portland Memorial Coliseum. So Charles Barkley got one stitch to the back of his head, playing already with a sore ankle. Before the game, Doug talked to Coach Chuck Daly and asked him if he was concerned about these injuries.
Yeah, I am a little bit. There's 5 or 6 guys. You know, you've got Ewing with the thumb and all these little things that happen. Some of them were around prior. There were injuries. But I think also the fact that, as you know, in the league, guys would play, you know, certain nights with little injuries they might have here. But not overly concerned, but a little concerned. You know, you get down, going to Barcelona, we're going to need a pretty full complement of players because the competition is going to be stiffer. Brendan Sewer, Bill Bertker over there and called me. And very definitely, they had seen some of these teams play in Puerto Rico a week ago. And they're over there scouting the other European teams, and they're pretty solid.
Charles Barkley has returned, has a Band-Aid on the back of his hand. Handling the ball now into the game, 30-year-old Federico Lopez in at guard. along with number 14, Eddie Casiano, as Puerto Rico tries to find a combination to strengthen things, and number 13, Edgar Leon, a forward also in for Puerto Rico. Magic Johnson misses the three. It rattles back in. It'll be a three.
That's called a shooter's touch. Magic with a soft shot. The ball hits the front of the rim, bounces up, and the rim was kind to Magic Johnson that time for 3 points. Christian Laettner was waiting on the doorstep, though, for the tip-in. He was right there for the offensive rebounded opportunity.
Boy, it doesn't take but one blink, as these Puerto Rican players are finding out, to have that ball knocked away. As soon as they look up on the dribble, bang, somebody's got their hand on it.
Remember I talked about, though, when the Puerto Rican team substituted, they lose a lot of speed and quickness. Morales, not very quick. Lopez, so they really lose that speed and quickness that they have with their frontline guards. You have to watch this team they have on the floor now.
Ortiz misses the three. Rebound, Magic Johnson.
A lot of quick shots right now from Puerto Rico. They're very impatient.
The foul on number 14, Eddie Casiano. Eddie's one of the young Puerto Rican players, only 19 years old. This must be some experience for him. 38-15 U.S., 6:30 to go, first half. U.S. will play the winner of the Brazil-Venezuela game, which is coming up as the second game here tonight on Sunday for the basketball tournament of the Americas Championship. Power move inside Malone. He draws the foul.
On number 13, Edgar Leon.
It's on Edgar Leon.
6th team foul. At the line for USA.
Puerto Rico shooting 21%, only 5 of 24. USA 15 of 24. A lot of those are coming on fast break points.
Well, we talked about the fast break opportunities, whether it be off turnovers or long rebounds. United States 18-0 on the fast break right now. That's the difference in the ball game. You see a 24-point game right now, but the transition opportunities, the United States, good initial defense, good rebounding, and then they love to get out and run. They're a devastating fast break team.
Malone short arms the free throw. Rebound to Edgar Leon. This is Lopez.
He's a very heady floor leader. You know, doesn't have speed and quickness, but very, very solid.
Ortiz trying to work against Laettner, and he does so successfully. Draws the foul from the only college player on the Dream Team, and Ortiz will go to the free throw line.
Now, I talked a little bit about the other night about Christian Laettner, and he's getting into a habit of getting a lot of reaching fouls. That time, Jose Ortiz backed into him. He created the contact, got some space, knocked Laettner back on his heels, and as he went up to shoot the shot, Laettner lazily reached in and got the foul. That's a touch foul in the NBA. You've got to get rid of that. You cannot, as a post player, get those kind of fouls. What Christian's going to have to do is when a guy comes back and tries to bang into him, he's got to brace himself and not be going back with a blow to give the guy space to shoot.
21-point U.S. advantage. Mullen kicks it to Magic Johnson, who takes the drive. Offensive foul. It's 3-second lane violation. One pass too many. 39-18. Morales looking for his jump shot. He's 6'5", but Mullen was right in his face.
I don't remember this Casiano last night playing very much, but he's a left-handed player. Number 14 there for Puerto Rico. He looked like he had a nice little jumper. That time he drove right.
Casiano he didn't play last night.
That's right, and he finished his shot very nicely. I don't remember him being a factor at all in their team the last couple games, in fact. How about this matchup problem? Somebody's going to get an open shot.
Drexler hard to the hoop, missed the jam. Ortiz was up there. Mullen doesn't get it to fall.
This is Casiano on the drive now. He's a left-handed player, but you see a nice little move there. Finished the shot. Good concentration. Double team. Drexler gets the pass, and he takes it to the basket. Looks like his knee's feeling a little bit better.
The foul was on Lopez. Chris Mullen's been playing about 23 minutes per game. Remember, the games are 40 minutes long here. Lopez has no idea how fast these hands are. Mullen gives it to Malone for the power jam.
That's the unselfish play. I mean, Mullen had 2 points. He gave it off to Karl Malone. Now, Mullen had just missed 2 free throws. You'd think the normal thing you want to do is go in and get the 2 points back. He gives it to Karl Malone, knowing now that he's going to get one this time.
Lopez having a nightmare. Mullen will take it this time. Lopez is a heady floor leader, does see the floor well, but is a full step and about a second too slow. Every player on Team USA has scored a basket except for Christian Laettner, and no player has attempted more than 4 field goals, to give you some idea of the scary balance of this basketball team. Carter back in. It's punched away by Pippen. As we watched Puerto Rico against Argentina last night, Doug, you felt that these guards were just going to be in a lot of trouble in this ballgame.
Well, last night the big front line was the difference in the game for Puerto Rico, but as Argentina picked up their defense and they got out after them, they forced a lot of turnovers, got back in the game, almost stole the game late. But again, another deflection and the pass by Mullen behind the back, and there's...
They did play with it a little too much. Finally, it goes in.
So that's what you have to be careful about, being too unselfish. Scotty gave it to Karl Malone for the dunk, and Malone gives it back to him. And that's where you got to be careful not to get hurt. Somebody comes flying in there on your back to try to block the shot. Chris Mullen ends up with 2 points on the tip in.
Number 14, Cassiano, the 19-year-old guard, launched an NBA-length three-pointer that drew nothing but air.
You see the team that Chuck Daly has on the floor right now. Scottie Pippen's actually the point guard. You've got Chris Mullen and Drexler with Malone and Christian Laettner. No one's going to pick up Mullen. He'll dribble down and just shoot a 3.
Rebound to 13, Edgar Leon. 47-20. 3:30 to go in the first half. The U.S. has been winning these games by an average of 56 points a game. Drexler lost the handle. Mullen is fouled by number 14, Eddie Cassiano.
Here's the turnover. Scottie Pippen with his long arms forces the turnover. Mullen, a nice behind-the-back wraparound, and Scottie Pippen with his great speed and quickness runs it down. He's going to hand it off to Malone. Malone says, no, I don't want it. You take, no, you got it. No, I'll miss it. And Mullen says, well, I'll take the 2 if you guys don't want them. So
Mullen with 7 points in this ballgame. Second leading scorer on Team USA. Coming up at halftime on the Kraft Halftime Report, we'll have news and notes from around the NBA, an update on the European Olympic Tournament, the qualifying tournament there. And a feature I think you'll really enjoy seeing, Larry and Magic, from foes to friends, the story of their career as opponents starting back at Michigan State and Indiana State in 1979. 19-point U.S. Bulls. Make that 29. Or 39. as if it would matter.
See, the difference if you look at these two teams, James Carter, number 9, shooting the free throws right now for Puerto Rico, has great speed and quickness. He's 6 feet tall. The frightening thing about it is Scottie Pippen has more speed and quickness, and he's 6'8". Therein lies the difference in the two teams when you want to think about the perimeter people.
Mullen handling the ball. Defended by Carter. Malone against Ortiz. Ortiz with a foul, and Malone goes to the line.
That's a well-executed play that time by the United States. They ran a little give and go. Chris Mullen rub cut. He goes to the corner, and Scottie Pippen runs screen roll. You see at the jump out now, Chris Mullen works back behind the ball, and then counteraction drops the ball right back into the post. Good ball movement, and what that does is when they jump out big on the screen roll to take the turn away from you to get to the basket, you counteract and drop the ball right into the post to the guy who set the screen, Karl Malone, who gets the three-point play.
And Malone has 12 points, as it looks as though Team USA has decided to get Malone more involved here, as Karl has been kind of taking a back seat during the tournament. Ortiz with a long bank shot, that's for 2. And Ortiz has 10 to lead all the Puerto Rican scorers. No look, Drexler to Malone.
call 3 seconds on Karl Malone. See, in international play, that 3 second, they really watch that. The lane is wider, the trapezoidal lane. They watch that more than they do in the United States. We see more 3-second calls, I think, here in this week than we see in the NBA all season long.
19 feet across on the baseline down there. Morales on the give and go. However, Leon couldn't get it to go. Drexler. Finger rolls by the glide. A 30-point U.S. lead.
Well, that was a quick move.
Drexler to Malone. Malone has 14.
Have you ever seen better passing and decision-making with great athletes on the fast break and unselfish play? These guys, and they don't practice that much either. Chuck Daly realizes that it's better for them to be fresh, but this is incredible.
There's the 19-year-old with the drive to the hoop, Eddie Casiano, who didn't see much action prior to this game for Puerto Rico. Drexler to Malone. Offensive foul.
We're going to see Clyde Drexler going coast to coast. This is something we see with the Portland Trail Blazers. He gets that head down and he's going right to the rim. Takes it right to the basket and finishes. And then the next time down the floor, the great pass to Karl Malone for the easy basket.
Minute 12 remaining in the first half. Scottie Pippen picks up his second personal foul. 26-0 on fast break points. We talked about rebounding, avoiding turnovers, and which lead to the fast break points for Puerto Rico. Not happening.
See, that's why you can't hold the ball in the United States. They have a 30-second shot clock. You say spread them out, use the clock. But when someone is chasing you and pressuring you all over the floor, not letting you make that next pass, what happens is panic sets in. Now you put your head down and you want to drive the ball to the basket. You take a quick shot, and then they're often running the other way with bad floor balance. We talked about Puerto Rico has a very big, strong front line, but they cannot run with this United States front line. You've seen Malone out on the break. You've seen Charles Barkley when he was in the game. So the front line just outrunning the front line of Puerto Rico and the unselfish play of the United States perimeter players to get them the ball.
As you saw, Carter was fouled on a three-pointer and got and sank 3 free throws. Mullen answers.
Every shot's going in for Chris Mullen. You can just see it. He steps back. Leitner did a nice job that time after the double screen, stepped back and set another screen for Mullen to get him the open jumper.
Under a minute to go in the half. U.S. by 30. Long range jumper. That's a 3 from Edgar Leon. 30 seconds to go in the half. USA shooting 64% from the field. The lob into Malone, who has 16 first half points. Malone had only been averaging 12 and a half a game.
Puerto Rico would like to get the last shot.
Nice shot by Ortiz. He has 12 points. He uses the glass well. Nice touch on the ball.
At the end of the first half.
And at the end of the first half, Team USA 61, Puerto Rico 34. We'll be back with a Kraft halftime report right after this.
Kraft halftime report brought to you by Kraft. Kraft proudly sets the USA basketball training table.
At halftime, USA 61-34, and this team made up, except for Christian Laettner, of all NBA stars. We continue to keep you up to date on NBA news. Just with the draft only a week ago, there have been quite a few player transactions in the NBA. We reported on the big three-way trade last Wednesday night, and now there have been some more today. For instance, the Trailblazers have signed Rod Strickland to a multi-year contract. Understand it's 6 years, $12 million. Houston Rockets have acquired Greg Kite from Orlando for 2 second-round picks. Some other NBA transactions that took place. The New York Knicks, excuse me, this is the one that's the $12 million for 6 years, have tendered an offer sheet to free agent Harvey Grant, the New York Knicks, and in doing so, to clear some room under the salary cap, the Knicks have renounced the rights of the contracts of James Donaldson, Kennard Winchester, and Patrick Eddy. And Doug Collins, let's go back first of all to the Portland Trail Blazers, who lost Danny Ainge, of course, as he signed with Phoenix, signing Rod Strickland now, undisclosed terms to that contract. What is your thinking? Somewhat of a controversial signing.
Well, I think what they've said is we need help at guard, and Rod Strickland obviously is a very talented player, has had his moments in the NBA of greatness. He's had his other moments that haven't been so great, but I think that he gives them a very talented player. Terry Porter can slide over and play the 2 spot, and he can play with Rod Strickland, or Rod Strickland can play with Drexler, so it gives them some versatility. The one thing is, Rod Strickland's not a great outside shooter. One of the things that Portland needs is a guy that can stick that outside shot. They're going to really miss Danny Ainge's shooting. So I think in the wake of losing Danny Ainge, their quick reaction was to go out and sign Rod Strickland. We'll have to wait and see what the effect is.
By the way, Rod Strickland is here in Portland tonight at this ball game, and we saw him earlier talking to Rick Adelman, the coach, and they'll be having a lot of chats between now and the beginning of the season next year. Now, let's bring you up to date on the European Championships. First of all, who is qualified for the Olympics so far? Spain is the host country. Angola won their region, as did Australia and China. The 4 qualifiers from the Tournament of the Americas, USA, Brazil, Puerto Rico, and Venezuela. Now, the European tournament. Here's what it looks like right now. Lithuania's basketball team qualified for the 1992 games, 53 years after it was annexed by the Soviet Union. Arvydas Sabonis scored 28 points. Sharonas Marciulionis added 20 as Lithuania defeated Slovenia 90-73. Valeri Tikhonenko scored 40 as the Commonwealth of Independent States beat Israel. This is action today, 101-85. Croatia routed Czechoslovakia 84-68. 21 points for Drazen Petrovic, and Toni Kukoc had 13 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. And Germany defeated Italy 109-91 as Shrimp returned from a bout of food poisoning and scored 37 points and 19 rebounds. Only Slovenia could possibly move in to that top 4 group. So that's what the European Championships look like. They're still waiting to determine who will be moving into the final 12 for Barcelona. Well, both of them stand 6 feet 9 inches tall. One's a guard, the other a forward. They came into national prominence during the National Collegiate Tournament back in 1979. We're, of course, talking about Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Most people, of course, think that Michael Jordan has had a great impact on the game, but the fingers all point to those two who helped the NBA make a turnaround and become literally the most popular sport in the world by almost anybody's definition today. So now, as they play together here on this team for their last hurrah on the court, they play on the same team for the same goal.
Their storied rivalry began in 1979. Magic won the first battle, an NCAA championship. They entered the NBA together and would forever wrestle each other for basketball supremacy.
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, the principal figures of this drama between the Celtics and the Lakers. Bird and Magic one-on-one. A shot for the ages.
Quickly goes out to Bird. Bird a three-pointer.
Bird goes for 3.
I fear no one but Larry Bird.
To the left goes Magic. He's got it. 5 seconds left. Magic down the middle, just what I thought. A hook shot at 12. Good!
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, you know. Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
They went head-to-head 3 times in the 80s in search for basketball's top prize. Every time it was a duel. When one threw down the gauntlet, the other responded immediately. They faced each other in a TV commercial. And in February of this year, when Magic's jersey was retired, Bird was by his side, promising one more curtain call.
He's not done yet, because we're going to go to Barcelona and bring back the gold for everyone here in the United States.
So many times America has watched us battle each other, and so you get divided. You have to cheer for one or the other. And now they won't have to do that anymore. Hey, we're pulling for our boys.
It's a great opportunity for both of us. You know, he's retired, and and my retirement's coming soon, so you know, I don't know how much longer I'm going to play, so getting an opportunity to play with him for one last time is a great, great honor.
As the Dream Team gathered and began practicing, Bird admitted to a slow start, but knew his point guard would find him eventually.
I'm struggling a little bit now with my shooting, so he's not passing to me as much. But once I get that down, I think he'll come my way a little bit more.
Once in Portland, Magic knew who had the hot hand. As Bird and Magic lead USA basketball, they'll never quite lose the competitive fire that brought the NBA to new heights.
Me and Larry will always have a rivalry. Even when this is over, we'll probably meet at the playground and just go at each other like dogs and cats. It's just that way. God put us here for that, and we will be doing it to the end.
USA leading 61-34. We'll be back to recap the Dream Team play in this tournament right after this.